My name's Mark Houtz. I'm CWNE 500 for those that don't know me. I got that lucky moniker. But I'm going to be talking about cellular surveying. This industry has been very much overrun by the cellular carriers. So the tools are very much priced the same. So when I got involved in private cellular 5 years ago, it was you have to buy X tool from X vendor that costs $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. As a little guy doing private cellular for a bunch of school districts, outside of my budget. So I started exploring some different ideas and was like, the WLAN Pi has kind of become this de facto tool that we all use it. What can we see with cellular? So a couple years ago, I spoke here on this stage and in Prague about what the WLAN Pi with a cellular modem can do. I'm here to talk about what I have discovered since then. So 2 years ago, I got my CWNE 500 number, and I started thinking, how can I apply these concepts that I was learning in the CWNE program to cellular? I was looking at capturing PCAPs. I was looking at a bunch of different things. And so I was like, what about heat maps? But what is a survey? Is a survey just grabbing a heat map? Is it grabbing data about it? Is it using different tools? What about Wi-Fi Explorer Pro 3? Do we use that? Is that a survey? Do we use that as a survey? I took a class this weekend from Devon, the wireless adjuster class. That's all we used. We didn't dig into this is the heat map of the area. So is that a useful tool for private cellular? What about Wireshark? Can we capture PCAPs? What about GPS? These modems that I'm using have GPS built in. It's not the most accurate, and how do you do it indoors? That's an issue. It still is yet to be solved outside of the big carriers. But with GPS, how do we get that accuracy more dialed in? If you want to know that detail, go talk to Luke, who's walking out right now. Go sit his deep dive. He has the details on that. don't want to steal his thunder. But there is some cool stuff Luke is doing on the GPS to get centimeter level accuracy for our surveys. As I mentioned, big carriers have this. Homina, Ekahau still do not have a heat map survey tool. Homina's promised, but it still hasn't been delivered. And so I'm like, still been playing with this, as well as the Otium Wi-Pri Clarity just barely came, or the Wi-Pri Lucid just came out. Still doesn't support CBRS band for spectrum captures. I've been chatting with them on Twitter, so hopefully that comes because it's just software at that point for them. But other question I've gotten at this conference is, why is private cellular so expensive? Comes down to the carriers don't want it to work. They want to do it for you. They want to keep the cash flowing into their pockets. It has really hurt this industry because there's a lot of interest. JT talked about and had you all raise your hands who's been interested and studied cellular technologies and how difficult it is. We're trying to reduce those barriers to entry so that every one of this room can understand how this technology works. That's what these tools that I've been working on are helping do. Also, if you want something cheaper, go talk to Jeremy Rawlinson. He's over there. Go talk to him. He's got a solution crazy awesome solution. He's got the price down that the other vendors in this space are really going to struggle to compete against. So go talk to him if you want to work on that. So another thing that is starting to come up, we are all connected to Passpoint here with our devices. That's basically what we're relying upon for the conference Wi-Fi. With Passpoint, what's the purpose of Passpoint? Providing coverage where the cellular networks are not great, right? How do we know where those cellular networks are not great? By our users, by our own experience walking around. Yeah, I drop a call right here, but right here I'm good. We don't have the tools in our toolkit to be able to provide this outside of those really expensive vendor tools. And so for Passpoint, this can be very useful for us going, okay, I really need to stand up a Passpoint network here, and I can prove it with data backed up by these surveys. So as I've mentioned in the past, I've been working on I've called the CBRS Pi. It's just a WLAN Pi with a special modem on it. I've had many people ask me, is it dead? What's going on with this? And I've kind of been quiet because I've been working on some different things. I kind of hit a wall. And then about a year ago, I found a solution that actually opened things wide open for what I've been working on. So this is my first iteration at my first WLPC 3 years ago, sitting right over here. It was the year they released the Wi-Fi 6E radio on the WLAN Pi with the WLAN Pi Pro. This was my community edition. It was a giant, enormous thing. It's got a cellular modem. It's got 6 gigahertz on there. Pretty cool little device. I was able to capture PCAPs at the time. Good starting use case, but not, there's a lot of data there, but how do we build upon that? So now I've got this device. It's a WLAN Pi with a modem on the bottom. This is the R4. Then I added some options to the screen. So the FPMS screen, you can now, there's a cellular on, you have to install the software. It's not in the full regular version. But I added some cellular, so I can connect it to a cellular network. I can get the bands, see what networks are out there, all types of different little things that are added just to the FPMS screen that allows you to see some of this stuff. You can also attach it to a regular, this is the M4 Plus WLAN Pi, so just screws on the back. Been working to make it compatible with all the Pis that we have now, just as additional add-on. That slide does not work, so let me go back to that real quick here. So this is what, it doesn't want to work. So we'll just go like this. We'll just show this off. So this is a Grafana dashboard. You get the carrier networks, and you can see all the cellular networks around you on the WLAN Pi in Grafana. You get the bands, you get the spectrum, you get the RSRP, RSSI, RSRQ data points. You can see all of the carrier networks, so you get tons and tons of details about everybody around you just from this WLAN Pi right here. It's not super, super fast, but it does work. Oops. Got to push slideshow here. Back to the slideshow. If it will load here. Technical difficulties, gotta love them. It's not loading, so we'll just go like this. So I took this device, and Eino, Payment if he's in the room, they've built into their tool the ability to import CSV files. So I was at the University of Utah Stadium last fall, right before Prague. We were surveying, and I had this device, and so I was like, I'm going to pull it out and see what I can see. There's a cellular heat map at the University of Utah football stadium that I grabbed. Just was in one data point. I still did not have it working out perfectly. Can you not? How's that? Isn't that better for Nay? Definitely, it's a dot on a map, so how useful is it at that point? But as I've been working on this, this is a drive test I did from my parents' house to my house, just driving along. It definitely has some work that needs done on it, but it is possible to capture driving data points of your cellular networks and see how good the cellular coverage is with a WLAN Pi. On Christmas Eve, I was bored at my parents' house, and so I decided I was just going to go walk around their neighborhood, around their yard, and so I just walked around, and this is a heat map I just got walking around of the cellular networks. This is all of the networks on top of each other, so it just shows everything, depends on what carrier you're on. But what's next with this project? As I mentioned, Luke's stuff, got a GPS there. Hopefully we get the Otium, and then I got some other stuff I want to add into it. But at the end of the day, that's what I've been working on. I've also got one Pi that you don't have the external antennas. It's all built into one. And that's what I've got. Thanks, everybody.